Now you look like you intellectual.
We on, we on.
Um,
What up? What up?
you want to do the introduction, Rich?
Yeah, we started off. Welcome to Can We Talk for a Minute? This is episode 4. And this week we'll be discussing the subject of
What episode you just say?
I think this is the 4th one we done, ain't it? Probably the 3rd one we done for the public.
Technically, this
The
is
first one was a
two.
trial run.
Yeah, them throwaways. So this is really episode 2.
Put in the archives. We'll make it like the lost tapes. Put a premium price on it. Go ahead and talk about the episode. What we're talking about this week, Ski.
Well, before we do that, I want to kind of address something based on the feedback that I've been getting. And one of the things we don't want to do, matter of fact, we refuse to do, is get into any negativity, because we're not doing this to spark a debate or anything. We're just giving the male side to things that people in general don't necessarily get to hear, right? But I came across a few people who just had a problem with men talking, you know. Couldn't necessarily say we were saying anything wrong, bad. It was just, they just had an issue with men talking, right? And I also had someone mention to me that we sounded silly saying that men don't need to follow rules, or men don't need to, be ruled over. But I wanna say this. I wrote this thought out, when I heard that. To listen is out of respect, but to obey is a choice. Imagine expecting someone to obey you who you don't even respect enough to listen to. You feel me? You don't respect the person enough to listen to them, yet you want to have some sort of control over their life. Those two things will never go hand in hand, But with that being said, we'll get into the topic of would you stay with a woman, your girlfriend, your wife, etc., after she cheated? When we first threw the topic out there, Corey, you said no off the rip.
Yeah, I said no.
Go ahead.
I mean, when it now let's say if it's my woman that I'm trying to give my all to, I'm trying to be the best man for her, and for whatever reason, what I'm doing is not good enough for her, so she chooses to cheat. If I really cared about that woman, and it's still different circumstances that could change my answer, but just in theory, it's just the typical reasons why it happened. And if I really cared about that woman, I couldn't go back if I really cared. And that's just me, because if I really cared about her and I know what type of person she is, it will probably mess with me that it's so many different doors before a woman has sex. So she had to open that communication door with that man. After she opened that communication door with that man, she had to open up a different level of communication where
emotional door.
an emotional door where they can talk more. She can be more vulnerable, just talking maybe more sexually or intimacy or whatever the case. Not necessarily saying that they having it right then and there. But then she may open another door where she's just talking about things that she's going through. So she's like she has to get a connection with him. And then once she gets that connection, then it comes to the sex. So it would just be that she just didn't have sex with somebody. They got something else going on.
Yeah, it's deeper than sex.
It's deeper than sex. Now who knows? This is just theory. Now it could have been, oh no, I just met this nigga, whoop de whoop, and I just thought he was sexy and I just hit him off. I don't know I could take that either, because then I look at it sideways, like, well, how many other times you did this? I just caught you on this one. So it's like it's a catch-22 on both ends of it. And I'm just talking in theory in typical situations. Now it could be a curveball that happens that I didn't know that could happen, and led to one thing, led to another, and that's why it happened. And I may have some compassion over it, and maybe some understanding, and maybe have something that is something that I would want to work out. But just typically, and if I didn't care about her, I'd stay with her. But if I did care, I couldn't stay.
Just got a quick question for you. Oh, go ahead, Rich.
No, as odd as it may sound, hearing somebody say what he just said on that last part, I understand on that, like, him saying if he cared about her, he'd stop fucking with her. But like, if it's somebody who's just entertaining time, you'd be like, okay, well, she snuck off and got some dick, and it's cool. Like, it's weird. It would seem like the opposite, but I see where he's coming from on that. I had never heard anybody say it, but I've listened to it. It makes a lot of sense. You actually get real emotion and that emotional pain right there. It make you like you really fucking with somebody real hard, and you got your feelings to it, and she fucking around with another guy. I see where you want to cut her off. As odd as it may sound, but if you just fucking with somebody at the same time, you really ain't caring. She's dipping off and getting her little knees handled, or 1-2-1-2 on. I can see that.
Okay, well, let me ask y'all this then, right? So if this the woman that you with, you love her, like you said last time, Corey, y'all trying to build a foundation. If y'all done got to that point, at some point she had your back, you had her back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that a man can sleep with, let's just say, a married woman, right? Or a taken woman, right? Kick it with her, have sex with her, have a blast with her, travel with her, all of that, right? Knowing that she's going home to her man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet, you supposedly don't care about that woman, right? So, but you could kick it with her. If your car break down, you could call her and say, hey, could you come pick me up? Give me a ride. Like, she could be a part of your life still, but she going home to her man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip, this person who you saying that you love, who done had your back, who done held you down, right? If they step out, you saying you can't be with them no more. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of backwards when you think about it. Like, why couldn't somebody that you love have the same leeway? They done put in more work behind the scenes than this other person that you continue to deal with who going back home to their man every time y'all part ways.
Hold on, you said how can the person that I love have the same leeway?
I said, why can't the person that you love have that same leeway?
That she can just sneak off and get pipe or whatever and come on back home?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as men. we've dealt with taking women.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have.
No
right?
doubt.
Even married women. Right? And that woman, you could kick it with that woman, be with that woman, have sex with that woman and everything, but then that woman could go back home to her man and you're okay with that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't look at her as foul, or you don't look at her in a bad way, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then this woman who you say you have feelings for, who you love, who actually have put time and effort into you, right? She stepped out, you saying you can't deal with her no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that that's a little backwards. It's like
Well,
you giving the person you say you don't care about a little more rope than the person you say you love.
Well, maybe because the person you don't care about, you know what it is. I know it. I know this can't go no further than this. So I the cards is all on the table. Now, on the flip side, with that being like, if it was my woman or my wife, I don't know, and it's different levels to, and somebody had to tell me that it's a difference between a girlfriend, a baby mama, and a wife.
Most
So,
definitely.
And the catch to this is I only can think of it on girlfriend levels, So because it's a different level, like it's a different level of girlfriend, different level for the mother of my child, a different level to my wife.
I agree.
Now, when it comes to girlfriends, and like you said, we trying to build, and during this building stage, something like that happens.
You could tear it down and start over.
They have to have so much energy, and a lot of times they don't have so much energy to try to make it right. And me saying make it right, I'm not saying they got to kiss my ass or nothing like that. But every situation is different. And like I say, typically when a woman is stepping out, she messing with a dude, it ain't just physical. It's more to it. And for her to make it right with me and cut that situation off, it just seems like that's just very hard.
I agree. And that brings me to a situation I want to remind you of. When Port, RIP, when this girl, one of her peoples was getting married, and they invited us all to, you wouldn't know about this, Rich, I don't think, but they invited us all to a co-ed bachelorette party. And so we were in this big place, and the women were on one side with male strippers, and the men were on the opposite side with female strippers. And then it was a middle area where the food and the drinks were for everyone else, to mix and mingle. And so we over there chilling, doing what we do, tripping with the strippers, whatever. And a fight breaks out on the other side, right? So we come busting out the doors, and it's these two women banging, and I mean they banging like to the death, like they trying to kill each other, right? So we get in there and we break everybody up, and once we got everybody broke up, and we pushed the one lady outside because she wouldn't calm down. So then I asked, like, what was they fighting about? He said a stripper, one of the male strippers, picked one of the women up and put her up on his shoulders and gave her some head, like up against the wall in front of everybody, as part of his routine. So said he put her down. Another male dancer came out. He went to the back, I guess, to freshen up or whatever. He come out in a little different costume or whatever, and basically do the same routine on her homegirl. So he said the lady jumped up and started trying to pry them apart. Like she didn't want her homegirl to receive that same blessing. You feel me? And so say she trying to pry him apart and couldn't. So she punches her homegirl. So now they fighting over a male stripper. On the flip side of that, right? As men, if we had a bachelor party and a stripper showed you some amazing moves in the back room or something, right? You would come out and tell me, like, hey, bro, you better get back there to that back room. Y'all out here fooling with these ones. The one you want to see is the one in the back room. That's where you better get to. So we don't have that emotional attachment to sex. And in my own personal life, when I went through a situation with a woman and she was trying to convince me that, and she didn't necessarily step out, it was just more so we kind of was, in a rocky space in our relationship, weren't really together, but kind of was together type of thing. And she went and dealt with someone and she after when she tried to come back and convince me that it wasn't like that, it wasn't this and this and this and that. And so I asked a simple question: if he died tomorrow, would you go to his funeral? She choked up. I said, that's my point exactly. I said, because if I just had sex with a woman and that's all it was sex, and she died in a car accident tomorrow or something, I'm not saying this to sound harsh, but my conversation to the people I know would be more so like, wow, that chick y'all saw me with the other day, that was her that died in that car accident. But that'd be like as far as it would go for me. It wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta go to her funeral, or I'm gonna be at her casket crying and breaking down saying take me with you. You know what I'm saying. It's a lot. So I agree with what you're saying, is that when women sleep with a man, it's a lot more to it than when men do it. Even though women will try to make the argument, it's the same, it's the same, it's the same. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because even when you used to deal with a woman and she's moved on, you could just send a message like, oh, I was gonna call you yesterday. I was right by your job. I had an accident and I needed somebody to take me to the hospital. What's she gonna say? Oh my God, you should have called me. Are you okay now? Do you need me to bring you anything? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Women be emotionally attached to who they sleep with. I mean, that's just a fact of life. We could try to argue it, debate it away. People done try to debate gender away. You know what I'm saying? So we just in that time, where people just don't want to accept who and what they are. That's nature. And yeah, someone gonna come along and say, "Oh, nature, blah blah blah." But at the end of the day, this is what we see. We discussing what we see. You know what I'm saying? And that attachment just be a lot different.
Okay, but isn't it some women out there that can just have sex and don't have no emotions attached to it?
For sure. Remember I told you I went over a chick house and when I was on my way out the door, she said, she asked me what type of women do Corey like? I said, baby, I ain't for sure if you like women.
I hate her.
Nah, yeah, it's definitely some women out there, who definitely don't have that emotional attachment. And maybe they do and they suppress it, But from what I've seen from those type of women over the years, no, they don't. They just like men. They'll knock you off and forget about you tomorrow. But that's not women. That's a woman. You know what I mean? That's not women.
Right. That's few, not the majority.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, so what you do then if you get with a woman like that and you start feeling it?
oh, you stuck. You in trouble. You going for that ride. We done seen them go. We done seen the plenty of people go for that ride. Because guess what? Them type of women been hurt before. And now here it is, you coming along, you trying to show them love. They don't know how to accept it. They don't want to accept it. You a toy at that point. She gonna drag. She gonna drag you to the end of the earth and back, boy.
Valid point.
Kiss the baby goodbye. Say goodnight to the game.
and see, that's my point though with this whole cheating thing, right? And women really think that when a man finds out his woman cheating, he just automatically done with her. No, that's the opposite. Like anytime we done see, like, you know, people we know be in a situation like that with a woman and they find out they woman doing something or whatever, I mean, they literally try to fight their way back into that woman life and demand that they cut the man off. Now, whether it might be more ego than it is love, but they want the woman back. They don't necessarily want her to go. I ain't never seen no man just cut no woman off that he loved. Never.
Valid point. They don't. But just from my experience, when I caught my woman or my in the past, you know, when I caught with their pants down, I probably didn't leave at that very different people. I did different things with different people. So I know one, I left immediately. The other chick, I didn't leave immediately, but I knew I had to start getting my emotions out of it now.
So you had to back out slow.
Yeah, I'm backing out. And you know, that back out, you know, I may think it's gonna take a week, I may think it's gonna take a month, and then pay a drug on for, you know, 3 months or whatever the case may be. But I knew I'm getting out of this situation right here.
Yeah, but again, women believe that when a man catches woman cheating, he just done with her. And I try to tell women all the time, that is not the case. Men still be with the woman when they catch her cheating.
But just for me though, my experience. And I go now, I'm thinking about the first one that I caught and I cut out and left. I cared about her. I really cared. The second one, I said, I was like, nah, I gotta get out of this. I gotta get out. When I break it down, I didn't care like that though. It was like I knew it. This is what you get, Corey. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where the other one, it was like, damn, nah, hell nah, you know. And I don't know, maybe that has something to do with, you know, me being younger. I don't know, but I knew I cared about that one, and I'm like, no. The other one, I'm like, damn, but it's like, nigga, what you thought she'd be doing? You know. So it's like, you know, this ain't going nowhere, so you need to be backtracking now. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that
it
goes
make perfect sense. It make perfect sense. For me, my first time going through that was I had a girlfriend. And my girlfriend at the time, she was kind of homely, like, you know, cute girl, but she just was, you know, homely, you know what I mean? And so I started doing a little better for myself. And this when I was young, you know, I started doing a little better for myself, and I meet another woman who, you know, just had like a little more pizzazz, you know what I mean? And I eased my way over to the other woman, only to end up getting cheated on by the other woman. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for me at that point, it was like, and I knew the guy that she dealt with too. So, you know, that kind of hurt a little bit too, because he was throwing it in my face. He was a little older than me too. Actually, we ended up fighting about it. Because he was adamant at trying to make me be hurt about it. You know what I'm saying? To where he just kept talking about it and kept talking about it until eventually I had to confront him. And you know, not to try to sound tough on him, but I dusted him off. But I can honestly say, like, I didn't beat him up because he was dealing with my girlfriend. I beat him up because he kept trying to make me be hurt at the fact that he was dealing with my girlfriend. You know what I mean? But here go the crazy part though. I still messed with her after that. I don't even know if we officially broke up. You know what I mean? We still messed around. You know what I mean? I mean, it just was what it was.
But did you
So
love
again, like
her?
I said, huh?
But did you love her?
I would
Or
say
did
I
you?
did. I mean, you know, it was a younger version of love because, like I said last time, I've actually grown to understand what love is. The one thing being married, like, you know, being married teach you what love is, but also um just when you get older and you meet real women, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference between when you just casually dealing with a woman or you dealing with a woman who and we gonna get into that a little later, like when you dealing with a woman who just looking for monogamy, right? They not necessarily looking for love. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Like they just want some monogamy. You feel me? So when you deal with those type of women, you know, like this ain't love. She just we we on the ship until I break a rule. And once I break the rule, she gonna go find somebody else to try to get her some monogamy from. You know what I mean? That's not love. But once you learn what love is, um, I can say that I did love that girl that cheated on me back then, but it wasn't the love that I understand now. Hopefully that makes sense.
I can dig that. And as the older you get and the more experiences you have with different people, I know I've looked back on different situations and at that moment I'm like, I love her. But then, then you meet somebody else, you're like, no, but I love her. And then you look back on the other one like, I really just liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought
Yeah,
I loved, because it's
yeah,
like,
because
as you
you
say, it's like you start understanding a little bit more like what love consists of. It's a big tug of war.
mm-hmm,
And you
for
sometimes
sure.
you young and you love somebody, but you may just love them because how they made you feel. And that could just been physically. Or you may have loved them because they did certain stuff for you
Or stroke your ego.
or stroked your ego. But then like you say, then you get a little older, you start seeing like that ain't love. You thought it was love. And
Mm-hmm.
but then on the flip side, you look back and you say, well, you know what? You was tripping. That girl right there. Now she loved your ass. But you was
Mm-hmm.
too you didn't see it. And I mean, I admit to that one too though. Like,
But that just kind of go back to that thing when they say you wouldn't know what good was if you didn't have evil to compare it to.
valid point.
You know, I mean, that's just simple as that. You know, you got to have the experiences and learn it to, even be able to grow and understand it. I got a question for you, Rich. So if you get caught cheating on your woman, right? And you, I mean, as a man, you like, it wasn't nothing though. Like it might be something as simple as, somebody recorded you getting a little head from a stripper at a bachelor party or something, you know what I mean? And your woman view that as cheating, and you know, just as men, we, you know, even that your homeboy would be like, oh baby, you tripping. Like that was a bachelor party. Like he didn't have no connection to that woman, you know, he just drunk and just going with the vibe, you know. But she like crushed, like, oh no, like you know, we had a sacred union and you broke it, and you know, blah blah blah. And my question to you is, would you feel like she need to get over that?
Yeah. You know, it's this is one of those things. It's unfair. Like, you know, it's you start off with a blank slate. So like my thing is thinking about, like, if you start off with a blank slate, you just ground level. But the thing that I never really understood, like when you start off with a blank slate with a woman, and it go, and just some people in general, like your blank slate is actually on a pedestal. So it's not nothing that you start off on the ground level and you building yourself up to some great shit. Sometimes you start off with a blank slate, but you're elevated, and they expect you to be a person who can't do any wrong. Not only will you not do wrong, but you can't do any wrong. So if somebody's thinking like, you know, Skeet's great, you know, Skeet does this, he's knowledgeable, or Corey's, you know, takes care of me, or, you know what I'm saying, he, you know, he's there for my every need, you know, whatever it is, like y'all start off on a good foot, you get elevated super high, super fast. And, you know, it may just be your natural feelings or the way you act. You may be super attentive to a woman's feelings. You may, you know, help her out when she's in need. And it may be nothing to you, but like they putting you on a super high pedestal to start with. And they don't know your faults. And like it may be something as small as like you texting an ex, or you spending too much time around your baby's mama, or you got some friends, you know, could be platonic, could be somebody, you know what I'm saying, you fucked with before, and she catches you texting them, or you know what I'm saying, or like you said, you might be in a spot, you know what I'm saying, y'all over at the bar drinking, you bound to too many drinks, you know what I'm saying, y'all too close, whatever it is, it breaks their heart. You know, I go through that shit now. You know, a lady told me, like, you know, if she would have never expected me to be a person who could cheat on her. And her definition may be just cheating from having text conversations. And that's what it was the first time, text conversations. And she's like, you cheated. And my thing is like, I'm not even fucking these women. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is like, shit, I come home every night, you know, I'm not bringing any babies in, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got bitches harassing you on social media. I ain't got nobody calling your phone, texting you. I ain't got motherfuckers riding by. I ain't got motherfuckers fucking with you while you at work. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, certain people take it as, you know, it goes into the thing about like, what do they consider cheating? So I'm a little bit more liberal in the sense with the whole cheating shit. You know, it ain't the end of the world. But, you know, some people take it hard. You know what I'm saying? They like say, once you start off on a blank slate, and your blank slate's in the air on a pedestal, and then you get caught fucking around with whatever manner or fashion it is, it's hard to come back from that. And I do think that shit, even if you do catch me doing some shit, get the fuck over it. You know, it ain't the end of the world. I'm still the same person.
But in reverse, right? If she do the same thing, like, and tell you to just get over it.
Yeah, like, you know, it's fair about like I said, I'm a little bit more liberal in it because I don't think the shit's the end of the world. I don't think sex is the end of the world. You know, and I will say that, but I will also say this: you fucking with me, and just from the women I've been with, you know, they've been a little bit more into the relationship thing than I have been. So I'm just speaking from my knowledge. Motherfuckers are like, you know, did whatever she does, or you done whatever you have done to form a union, you two together. And, you know, of course, she's going to have her rules, and, you know, you feel however you feel. If she goes and, you know, does something like with another man, especially sex, the world ain't ending. But my thing is, well, shit, you know, you also want to be in this relationship and you want to do this and that. But you just chose to do what you did. Like, the world ain't over, but like, shit, to me, you tainted. Because, like, you going against your own, you know what I'm saying, thought process and rules and all this and that. Like, if you wanted to be like that, you could tell me in the beginning, like, hey, we rock together, you know, for whatever reason, if you want to dip out, this cool. If I want to dip out, this cool. And I could probably deal with a motherfucker like that. You know, it is what it is. Like, not everybody goes by that. But like, motherfuckers talking about like a woman's talking about she wants to be committed, and she goes and does that. It's just tainted to me. Like, you know, you just didn't stand up to be who you say you were going to be.
And you made several valid points. For one, women always want to make themselves the moral authority, right? So
Yeah.
you the moral authority, you the one trying to police my life, you the one trying to give me rules, right? For you to go do that, it makes you a hypocrite, right? It makes you also a liar because you the one trying to sell me on this idea of we need to be committed and you not stepping up to the plate fast enough, et cetera, et cetera. And then here it is, you go do that. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, I think like you said, Corey, it makes you wonder what other shit that's about you that's bogus. You know what I'm saying?
Real shit.
Have you been blowing smoke up my ass the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing, when you said the part about, you know, being on a pedestal from the beginning, that came from religion. See, whether someone is religious or not, we got Jesus in the backdrop. Jesus didn't have sex. You feel me? So the thought process of a man is he's supposed to be somewhat like Jesus. Jesus never had sex, right? So with women, they try to judge a man by, like, for example, like women hear that you like sleep with a bunch of women, right? They act like you really doing something wrong. Like, I heard something about you. And you're like, what did you hear about me? I just couldn't believe my ears. What did you hear? That you dealt with a lot of women. You're like, huh? Like, that's what. But like you said, they got you on this Jesus pedestal of not dealing with no women at all. You know what I'm saying? So anything under that is just unacceptable. On the flip side of it, though, right? There's nothing really in the Bible or religion that really pushes women as quote unquote being good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we get that the Eve story, you know, with almost like with women being bad. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take you what, even to go back to your point on the Jesus thing. Like, Jesus didn't have sex. At one point, you all like another caveat you got to answer is Jesus' parents didn't have sex to have the conception of Jesus. So his just like a whole nother universe. And on top of that, what's the woman the two women they always, you know, reference when we talk about Jesus? It's his mother with the Immaculate Conception, and Mary Magdalene. The woman who was, you know what I'm saying, promiscuous. And Jesus took her in and said, like, yeah, you rock with all these dudes, but I'm going to make you holy. So it just turns everything around from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I never thought about it like just men being compared to Jesus, but like, you know, that's very prominent. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, Jesus didn't have sex. You know, his parents didn't have sex to have him. You know what I'm saying? But he's kicking when, you know what I'm saying, in the neighborhood, you know, mistress or, you know, woman of leisure, but everything's cool. He's rocking with her. You know what I'm saying? So that perception is big. That perception is big on a motherfucker.
I never really, this is my thing with cheating. If a woman cheats on me, or if my wife cheats on me, don't blame me, right? That's my thing right there. Women in a lot of situations don't take accountability. Like, it always be back on you. Like, when they do something, they want to give you a lecture about what you weren't doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I go out and do something and I try to pitch it to you that is because of something you weren't doing, you're going to say, no, you just greedy. No, you just ain't got no control over yourself. No, you just this. No, you just that. You feel me?
But then, no, you just ain't shit.
but then when it's in reverse,
you's a sucker.
When it's in reverse,
I had to go as far as say you's a whole ass nigga.
Yeah, but when it's in reverse, I somehow made you do that. You know what I'm saying? It was something I wasn't doing. If you would have paid me more attention, if you would have been more attentive, if you would have done this, you would have done that. You know what I'm saying? And nah. But for me, like seriously, like I've dealt with enough taking women in my life, and I've seen women sleep with guys that I know, taking women sleep with guys that I know, have full-fledged dealings with guys that I know, and these women are still with their husbands or boyfriends or whatever, and they on social media and everyone looks happy. So I don't have this thing with me where someone having sex makes me completely look at them different. You know, I can separate those things, but my only thing is the manner in which you do it, and if you take accountability for doing it. Most of the time, you don't get no accountability though. You know, you get blamed for their actions.
But you know, it's still a little difference there. Like with let's say a man cheating, and a man cheating, he just gonna get sloppy, and he may be dealing with a woman thinking she ain't gonna get feelings, and she catch feelings, and she tell his girl, or inbox his girl, or whatever the case may be. So if a man messing around on his girl, he on borrowed time. She gonna find out regardless. That just is what it is. Now, on the flip side, a woman can mess with a man and lay the ground rules down, and he not gonna say nothing. He'll sit back and he'll be happy that the only thing he got to do is just jump on her when she calls. He don't got to spend no time. He don't got to spend no money. She call him every Tuesday. He can jump on every Tuesday and keep it moving. He ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't about to go inbox her dude. He ain't gonna probably even tell too many of his homeboys, because he getting his off, and he don't got no strings attached. But when she gets caught, it's one of them things like, it's almost when a woman get caught cheating, she wants to get caught.
Or just didn't care no more if she got caught.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She didn't care. It's very rare a woman sloppy cheating. It's very, very rare. So that's when you start thinking about more into it and this and that. But this is just, don't get it twisted, y'all. This is just theory. Because sometimes this could be a little different. There could be other elements in here that's not like this. But I know when y'all was saying too about the bachelor party and the bachelorette party. And if my wife was there and my wife got some head, I'd be pissed, but I may not leave her. I may not leave my wife if she got a little head. She probably needed a little different little head. All right.
But it goes back. That only goes back because.
But hold on. But guess what though? Let her gain some head.
It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
You gave some stripper head.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Wow. Hey.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know who came up with the idea, but the co-ed stripper, the co-ed bachelorette party, it seems like a bad idea from the jump.
Yep, that's a bad idea from the jump.
Man, that was probably one of the best times. That was probably one of the best times of my life, bro. You got to think, the women over there with the strippers, right? These women.
No. For you, yeah.
Yeah,
but the man and the woman involved, I don't want to fuck with that shit. just as some attendees, yeah, you cool. Like you said, they going over there, you know what I'm saying? They got their drink, they dancing, y'all got y'all drinks, y'all dancing, y'all, everything's cool. After it's over, you know what I'm saying? You got some free, you know what I'm saying? You got some free round up women and men on both sides. But like the fiance on each side, the husband and wife on each side, I don't know, man. That seems like a recipe for disaster off top.
Somebody gonna do something wrong.
Yeah, there's gonna be some bullshit involved.
So let's get into something else, right? So, and again, I'm speaking from what I've seen and what I've learned over the years, right? So, how could I put it? The manner in which women tend to have sex, right? Monogamy is a backdrop and a relationship is a backdrop. Like even when you're dealing with a woman who taken or married or whatever, right? At some point, she still asks you, what are we? You know what I'm saying? What are we? What are we doing? What do I mean to you? And as a man, you like, why do that even matter? You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna contact your man. I'm not finna follow you home to see where y'all live at, none of that stuff. So why would that even matter? You know what I mean? But again, when women give sex, it's almost like they expect emotion in exchange. You know what I'm saying? And men simply expect sex in exchange. And that's what tends to cause the problems. And that also leads to another thing, and I know both of y'all have dealt with this too, where you dealing with a woman, you love her, y'all relationship seem like it's cool, right? But then she starts saying she wants something deeper, or she trying to push you towards being engaged or whatever, or something like that, right? And you just not really there yet. It's not that you don't love her, it's not that you don't want to be with her. You probably want to be with her forever, but you just not, you still trying to iron some stuff out within your life, you know what I mean, before you take that step. And then so she decides that she gonna leave you to go deal with some dude who offering a relationship. And let me add another thing. Let's just say you dealing with a woman who don't look at you as the type of man who can settle down and be with just one woman, right? Yet she love you. Yet y'all have a great time when y'all together, right? But then she goes and gives herself to a dude who she believe ain't gonna cheat. Just simple as that. She go deal with a dude who she believe ain't gonna cheat, or she go get with some dude who worked with her who proposed or said, if she was in his life, he would marry her in a day, right? Now, you love her and you hate to see her go, but at the same time, she coming back, right? This is going to be short-lived. And that's another thing that I think women tend to not understand. As men, we don't go around chasing monogamy. You know what I'm saying? We don't chase that. So that's why we can actually sex a woman freely. And if women don't force the issue, then women could have some leeway. You know what I mean? We're not going to put them on that pedestal. They put themselves on a pedestal by saying they this and they this, or they would never do this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I just said, like they go chase down some monogamy, or they go chase down a proposal from some dude they don't even like, right? Then they come back to you 4 months later, married, or they've not been dealing with this new guy and they thought monogamy was what they wanted, and then they realized they actually was happier when they was with you, right? Can you take her back? Can you let her have that learning curve and take her back?
You gonna go ahead first, Corey?
Yo, you want me to go first? Y'all always want me to go first. If she left me for another guy, and it didn't work out with that gentleman, and she come back over this way, it's gonna be hell to pay. It's gonna be hell to pay. But the catch is this though. Leaving me, I could probably get over, you know. But leaving me for somebody else, I don't know if I would be able to get over that, because I'm just a staying by for her to try to think she found something else better down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that may not be the case. I don't know. But like I said, we know this is theory. But it's like this. It's leaving me for something that I did is one thing. Like, I fucked the money up. We getting evicted. You ain't on that. I'm gone. I get that. I came to your job and I cussed your boss out. You got fired. You know, now we scrap for money. And, you know, some lead to another thing, whoop-de-whoop, and you leave. I get that. But you leave because you met somebody else and you think that they better than me. But then you see that they're not. And you want to come back this way, it's going to be hell to pay.
But could you get back with her though?
She put herself in the box. So meaning that I'm going to stick you in this box over here. It's almost like the maybe box. I may mess with you, I may not mess with you. I may answer your call, I may not answer your call. You know, we can, and to be honest, keep it 1,000 with you. And I'm trying to make it sound like some playboy shit, but to be honest with you, it would be really more, I got to protect myself because I don't want to get hurt. Cause like, and that goes back to, again, if I liked her, if I didn't like her, because I know she got the ability to hurt me, and am I going to give her that power in that position to hurt me again? You know, you get burnt once, shame on you. You get burnt twice, that's what you wanted. Y'all know the whatever, the slogan. Yeah. So I don't know. Then it's gonna be in it, and I'm not saying it's fair if it's right, but she will have to do so much to get out that box. Mm-hmm. That she may throw the towel in, like, I ain't doing all that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I ain't saying, and I'm a believer. Like, I'm gonna be hitting her up like, "Where you at? What you doing? You supposed to be?" Nah, it ain't gonna be that type of party. That's just not me. But she would just, I don't know what that would be, but she would just have to do so much to get out that box, and I don't think that she would have that, in theory, you know, that much in her to work in her to do that. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rich?
I mean, to me, it would go back to how the situation ended up. First, I'll probably know. It just me. I don't really like backtracking a whole lot, but no, if she snuck off, if y'all was in a relationship, and she snuck off and just said was fucking with the guy she worked with, and they formed this friendship and bond, and he told her he'd marry her and do all this and that, and she snuck off with him, and like fucking, I'm over, I'm done with this. Next thing you know, she's getting married to him, weeks, months later, whatever, a year later. And, it'd be like that's kind of like sneaky. So I definitely can rock with her on that. But if she came to you, most of the things are, based on relationships, really based on something you did wrong as a man. Like either you wasn't providing enough, fucking with other women, wasn't moving towards marriage fast enough. So if she came to me and said, "Look, Rich, I don't think this marriage thing or this relationship's progressing fast enough. So we should end this." And then cool, whatever. And then 3 months later, she's marrying another guy. It's kind of like, okay, she broke up. Or I said, if y'all broke up, y'all talking about you wasn't progressing fast enough. And then like 2 years later, a year later, she married another guy. You can say like, okay, well, shit, she just moved on. She found somebody who was really digging her. They want to do their thing. Holy matrimony. And went down like that. They shit didn't work out. She tried to come back to me. I'm like, you kind of say it's cool, she tried it, what I'm saying? She saw that shit wasn't working, now she's coming back to us. She really wanted to fuck with in the first place. I can't really hold that grudge against her for real, but I think if a motherfucker just sneaking off and doing some shit and fucking around with another guy and try to come back to you, I would rock with it because it shows you what their true character is. They said they want you to be this, they sneaking off and doing something else. So like,
yeah, they put themselves on a pedestal, then fucking hung themselves.
Yeah,
simple and plain. Like, yeah, no, right. I can't. And see, in the past when I've been in that situation, my thing was I could deal with a woman being emotional. I can't deal with a woman being emotionally stupid. Right? No, I'm serious. And I'm gonna repeat that. I could deal with a woman being emotional. I can't deal with a woman being emotionally stupid. Right?
Yeah.
So if you know you don't like this guy at work, right? And you know your reasoning for even wanting to give him a chance is because you simply think he won't cheat, right? And you think I'm sleeping with a bunch of women or whatever, right? For one, what the fuck is adding another man to the equation gonna do? That ain't the solution to our problem. You know what I'm saying? It's bad enough we gotta get rid of these women I got over here. What's this man? We can't add a man to the issue. You feel me? Let's work on what we got going over here first. You know what I mean? No, but seriously though, right? So no, but seriously, like it's like this. So me and you both know that you don't like this guy, right? Because I know you. I've dealt with you enough to know you. I know the arguments and the back and forth we done had, that's been leading up to your exit, right? You chasing a ghost. You know what I'm saying? You chasing this idea of a perfect man. Not to try to big myself up, but I'm just saying, I'm gonna just use the word great. Let's just say I'm a great man. You leaving a great man to go chase a perfect man. Now you go realize the perfection don't exist. This guy who maybe not cheat, that's all he offers. That's it. As a matter of fact, he can't cheat. Don't nobody want him. You know what I'm saying? It's some goofy motherfucker. You feel me? And
or better yet, you find out why he can't cheat. You see what I'm saying? Like that person, they saying they just gonna be with you. It's just you. It's like what y'all saying. It's like you remember that singer Joe, and I always said Joe was a hater because Joe, all his songs would be like, I'm gonna do what your man won't do. I can't think of that other joint, but he always was saying stuff like, you know, to big himself up, like, you know, like you ever have a woman and when a woman come in and she tell you what another nigga said to her, that's a sign right there. That's always the first sign right there. And you know, I don't, you know, when they say it, I just let it go past like I don't catch it. But when I don't know, let's say your girl come home and she say something like, yeah, such and such said, you know, if he was my man or why Corey don't have you driving a better car per se, you know, and she's saying it to you, so like she's trying to hint like you need to get her a better car, but realistically sometimes you got to dig a little deeper. You bind into the situation where you think he'll get you a better car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when them red flags come up, that's when you know they starting to drink the water. Now I ain't necessarily saying that they messing around, but they starting to drink the water. Now you can sit back and not say nothing to see how it play out. You can try to step up to the plate and stop the play from happening. You know, I mean, you got options right there. But it's like back to the title at hand. When a woman messes around, you still see them signs early, and hopefully your woman that you end up with is not a woman that just sleeps around with anybody. That's why she your woman. That's why she your wife. So when it happens, that's I think why it's probably a bigger hit. And it's not saying like you said, Rich, it's not the end of the world. When she does cheat, you can get over it. But it's like
It's just gonna be a little different.
Yeah.
and 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 it's one of the things you hear all the time. But in a relationship, the woman is the glue. In any relationship there is, the woman is the glue. If you sit back at not even man and woman relationship, but I don't know, when you was a kid, everybody went over grandma's house for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever the case. Every year, everybody knew we're going over grandma's house. And grandpa gonna be there and everybody gonna be there whoop de whoop. But when grandma passed, for some odd reason, everybody stopped going to grandma's house for dinner, for Thanksgiving dinner. Grandpa was still there. Now, aunt could have stepped up and cooked and things of that nature, but grandma not there. Grandma was the glue. So, on a relationship with a man and a woman, when a man commits himself to that woman, he may mess around, he may do some BS, but he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going. He ain't going nowhere. When he goes somewhere, is when that woman stop being the glue. When she's saying she don't want to do it no more, I want to move on, or whatever the case may be. So the power that a woman has over a man is phenomenal. A lot of times I think women they don't understand their power, or better yet, they probably mishandle it at times. Where when that man commits, he ain't perfect,
but he love you to death.
He ain't going nowhere. He'll take a bullet for you. You hear that, but you don't really understand what that means. Like, he will take a bullet for you. You go back and right now, if y'all look up the percentages of men that filed divorce from a woman, I bet you they way. I don't want to say bet. I wish I had that information in front of me.
Way lower?
They way lower. Because the woman's the glue. The woman, she's not the glue no more. So that's why this situation is dissolving. But when she's in it and she's staying in there, that relationship is gonna keep going through the good and the bad.
Because as a man, you're not looking for the perfect woman. It be the women who looking for the perfect man. Men looking for a woman that they vibe with, a woman that makes them happy. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. He vibe with her, she make him happy. Whatever imperfections that she got going on. And I'm not even talking about physical imperfections. I'm talking about just, people have mental flaws, emotional flaws. But a man to just deal with it because he just, he loved a woman. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's one of those things where you was working with the woman slowly but surely, just trying to ease her into trying to work her out of those emotional flaws and mental flaws or whatever. But y'all fall out and she taking those same flaws to the next man. You know what I mean? So you could almost gauge like that is not gonna work. Cause soon as you do that, or as soon as you go off on one of your tangents, he gonna start viewing you the same way as I view you. You know what I mean? And the only difference is you got more time in with me. I love you. He don't. So you put yourself in a really bad situation.
I don't look at them, whoever they mess with next, and I be like, oh, that ain't gonna work or that's gonna work. I try not to be that interested or invested in it, unless now if it comes your way and it's right in front of you, you got to you can't you got to deal with it.
I think you misunderstand what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So let's just say, like, if you know something about me, right? Like, let's say if I don't know, if a woman don't cook by the time I come in the evening, I'm liable to tear up the whole house, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's a woman you cool with who keep trying to throw herself at me, like, I like your friend, I like your friend, I like your friend, right? Mm-hmm. But like, baby, as soon as you're not telling her this, but deep down, like, baby, like, if he come home one day and you ain't cooked, you're gonna see a whole nother side of bruh. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna come because you know me. You know what I'm saying? You know me. You know my personality. So I don't mean, like, I'm not saying it from the standpoint of like hating, like, oh, I hope that don't work. I'm saying when you know someone, you kind of know their character flaws. You know what I'm saying? And if they haven't fixed those character flaws while they were with you, and you love them, and it's hard for you to put up with. Imagine how it's gonna be for a man who just meeting them, don't necessarily love them. You know what I mean? And then, like I said,
I'm following.
And like I said, that goes back to that same thing. So now when they go and then they realize that they flawed, then they want to come back to you like, okay, I understand myself now. I understand what you've been trying to tell me all along. There go that box that you was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, damn, like, I can't really just welcome you back with open arms. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be hell to pay.
Yeah, that's just tough, man.
But I don't know, and that could be just from my experience. I don't know, y'all lead into this, but even that people that I've dealt with, and they probably did do something like that and try to come back around. I don't think they come back and they lead with what they did wrong. That they had bad judgment. I don't know if that's ever been really the case. Like that word accountability it's tough for different people to admit to.
They don't deal with it sometimes at all.
They don't fuck with that accountability shit. I had hands laid upon me last week for telling somebody they didn't have enough accountability. They'll fight over that accountability shit. They may not rock with that.
They may come as far as say I had a lapse of judgment.
Fuck that. Fuck that. They are not old. It's common, like that's black and white right there. A whole lot of stuff in life is gray. A lot of stuff in life is gray, but if you talking about somebody who don't have no accountability, they don't rock with it in no kind of way.
At all.
Yeah, at all. Like that's a line. That's a very bold line. Like ain't no thin line, ain't no gray area. Like the motherfucker ain't rocking with accountability, they ain't fucking with it at all.
You the problem, not me. Like,
yeah.
Period.
Right. They can go out and get drunk, run their car off the road, kill 3 people, run in somebody's house. It's gonna come back to you somehow, some way.
Because you didn't go out with me, that's why this happened.
You drove me to drinking. Drove me to drinking.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes the woman stepping out on you thing almost impossible for you to deal with because of the lack of accountability when they coming back. Or that's just like when y'all part ways and they go think that they can go be with somebody else and it's gonna work, and then they try to come back and it's like, you not coming back accountable though. You coming back still trying to whip me in the shade. You know what I'm saying? Like you instantly, the second that I make the mistake of putting my penis back in you, you back on the same stuff you was on. Like you trying to police my life and tell me about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like I'd rather you to stay on over there then if this what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And so again, ladies, it's not about the sex. You may think it is. It's everything that's surrounding the act that becomes the issue. Not just the actual act, because everybody, we all adults, everyone has had sex prior to the person they with. You know, some people have 6 or 7 kids prior to the person that they with. So people have had sex, you know what I mean? I didn't even know there was a such thing as a swingers club until a woman told me to go to one with her. A woman that I was dating, you know what I mean? I mean, we weren't deep, deep relationship, but it was just more so like, can I be honest with you about something? I'm like, what is it? She was like, I be going to the swingers club from time to time.
Lord.
I'm like, oh, really? And I ended up going up there with her. It was some shit way up deep in the woods in Monroe. We end up going up there, and I kind of found out how she got down. Then she kind of told me her backstory and everything, and it was just like, wow, like, okay, I get it. And again, like, I'm just explaining that it don't be about the sex. You feel me? Like she told me, like, this is how I get down. Like, it's a perfectly safe environment, and this, that, and the third. I didn't hold her sexual preferences against her. You feel me? We were still cool. You know what I mean? But again, that same woman, a couple months down the line, talking about my failure to commit. It's like, oh, now, baby, we going too far with the bullshit now. Like, come on. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm out my box and now my hookup for you. You know what I'm saying? And now you can do the same typical shit. Get the hell on.
Oh, shit, man. That shit is so wild. It
really
not
about the sex.
Nah. That should be so far off because, like, even looking back with that and what Corey said, like I think the misconception about men and like how they act and what they do and why they do what they do is so far off because I don't think a woman even realize, like Corey's like, with the divorce shit, but like woman got to be a real life true piece of shit for a man to leave and not come back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just get away with more, a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man can do whatever. Like, whatever he does out in the streets, he's coming home. You know, nothing more than the fact that humans are creatures of habit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what I can jump up and leave the house. I can get up at 6, leave at 7 a.m., be gone till, 3 in the morning, be out all, whatever it is I'm doing, working, playing, whatever it is, coming home. Like, that shit just ain't changing. The motherfucker gotta be real fucked up. Like, I think women got a general fear of just losing their men. Like, I think that's what the whole cheating thing is. Like, whether it be conversational, emotional cheating, conversational cheating, sex, whatever it is. I think women think they're gonna lose their man at the end of the day, and it just ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have the woman who's a little bit older, overweight, ain't really keeping her hair done, ain't really, ain't really polished up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't really as tight as she used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the man, he can go out and find a young girl who's a knockout. She can do all kinds of, she can be cool for him. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally there for him, and do everything he wants sexually. He might indulge in that shit, but at the end of the day, he's still going home. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And I think, the sooner they get past that shit of thinking they're going to actually lose a man, which ain't going to happen unless you just totally fucked up, your relationship would be better. Like, whatever it is, you got to sit alone.
But we in the social media era, so in women's defense, what tends to happen is the woman that the man dealt with gets messy, right?
Yeah.
With this social media stuff and all this connectivity, the woman starts to get messy. It kind of makes it a little harder for the woman to let it go because the other woman's not letting it go. And so, and that kind of go back to what Corey was saying, like, when a woman get caught, she wanted to get caught. It's that, but it's also the fact that men aren't investigative. Like, we not gonna take no pride in busting our women getting caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we not running around like, ooh, I know I'm about to catch her. I know, but I done had a woman on me like that. Like, I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. I'm like, why do you want to catch me? You feel me? Like, why are you so hell-bent on catch me? I've never met a man that was hell-bent on catching a woman that he dealt with cheating.
Hey, y'all can't call me and be like, hey, Corey, where you at? And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm outside old girl house waiting on this nigga to come out so I can bust her. Yeah, I'm like, man, you don't get your ass from around there.
Yeah, he was like, we gonna be talking about, I hope he beat your ass. I hope he beat your stupid ass.
Hey, Corey, what you doing, man? I'm over here going through this girl phone, man. Man, you'll get girl her phone back.
Nah, bro, that's my thing.
Leave that girl alone.
Why the fuck does she want to catch me cheating so bad? Like, you must want to not be with me. Like, it ain't like, what the fuck you looking so hard for?
That's a deeper conversation too, though. It's because social media, we started giving victims attention. Everybody want to be a victim in an era where people getting completely out they hookup for attention, right? People who done been upstanding their entire lives, they naked, they flexing, they doing all type of outlandish, goofy stuff that's completely against their nature, right? Simply for attention, for likes and hearts, right? So once you start giving victims attention, right? You got women who want to bust you so they can go to Facebook or Instagram and tell the world that they hurt by you. You know what I mean? And it's just, social media brought a whole new dynamic in this stuff, because it's like that little shade room meme that keep going around, like, why aren't relationships today, lasting like our grandparents did, right? Social media, connectivity. If grandpa had a woman across town, she wasn't connected to grandma across on the other side of town. But now, but now Soon as grandpa leave her house, she's snapping his picture, posting his picture. Now somebody gonna send it to grandma. You know what I'm saying? The game done changed.
A whole lot.
And the infamous verse of Cuddy on the Wire. The game ain't changed. It just got a whole lot quicker and fiercer.
A whole new element, man. A whole new element.
But again, ain't no man doing like you might get now. You might catch a sucker. Cause I mean, I know some personally, you know what I'm saying? Like who got caught up in the woman and you know, when all signs pointed to he needed to leave that woman alone, he over and when I say fight, I don't mean physically fighting, but I'm saying like doing all kind of stuff to basically force that woman into being with him. You know what I'm saying? Running around catching her cheating and taking her to church so they could pray together so she don't cheat no more. I done seen it. You know what I'm saying?
I think when that happens, that's more of the ego kicking in, though.
Yeah, for sure.
And more ego than feelings, than emotion. It's just really just out of ego. You probably start thinking, my woman ain't supposed to do this. My woman ain't supposed to do that.
Or it makes me look less than.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing, though. You know, I don't get it twisted. I'm saying in theory, what happened. Because when we talking, I'm really talking about my wife. Like I say, it's different levels from girlfriend, baby mama, and wife. But when it comes to sex, a lot of times we take it so personal. But when somebody's having sex, that really don't got nothing to do with you.
Huh?
Yeah, if your wife is having sex with another man, that's something she wanted to do. It don't got nothing to do with you. That's what I'm saying. That's something she chose to do with her body.
Mm-hmm.
And you get mad at the fact that she did that with her body, but realistically, it don't got nothing to do with you.
I don't. Like I said, it's like I said, I'd look at like some super liberal about it. Like I said, if I wouldn't want my old lady to cheat, or I wouldn't want my wife to cheat, or girlfriend or baby's mom, whatever it is. But I ain't gonna drive myself crazy over this shit. You know, end of the day, the world's gonna move. I still got bills to pay. You know, I still got a lot of other shit going on, man. Like, you know, the last thing I'm gonna do is try to, you know, chase it down and make it an issue, just a terrible relationship that I'm happy in. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That shit.
But I think the bigger thing, though, when you talk about your woman cheating, one thing a man won't say that he hurt. He gonna say, man, she on some bullshit. She fucking around some nigga, this and that, whoop de whoop. You know, he's still gonna make it sound tough.
Yeah,
and he ain't gonna say like, man, I caught her fucking with such and such, and I'm fucked up about it. It's not that easy for a man to lay down his feelings and his emotions about that. He's gonna have it bottled up in him so much, and it's gonna make him so angry. Like I say, then it goes to the fact that she has to do so much to get back into that space that she's probably not gonna be willing to do that. That is not gonna work. When she starts to take away that glue, the situation is pretty much dead.
Yeah, but to add to that, it ain't no space for you to be hurt. Where could you be hurt at? If you come to me with it, I'm gonna be like, man, get over it.
Valid point.
If you go to social media with it, they gonna tell you sound like a bitch.
Valid point.
They're gonna hit you with, they're gonna come with the number one phrase. What type of man? What type of man cries to Facebook about a woman? Now she could cry about you all day, every day, 70 posts and 70 videos a day. But now when you go crying is what type of man does this? So the fact that there's no space for you to be heard, you can't be heard. Or you gotta suppress
that's going to drive you more to leave her.
Depends. Depends. You might be one of them type of guys that try to force her into understanding that you hurt.
Valid point.
You hurt me. I need you to understand that you hurt. I've seen these type of men. They exist.
Okay. Okay. That's a good question. So, should you express to her that you hurt?
For sure.
You only get expressed it one time though.
Yeah, too far in, you're gonna lose your edge. Women like edgy men.
You telling you hurt twice is over, huh?
Yeah, you can't go around losing your edge. There was some fuck shit you did though, right?
I can say that's the fuck shit you did. You did some bullshit. Then I gotta cut it right there. I can't say what you doing.
Yeah. You can't double back down again. Now you whining. Like, well, you don't quit whining.
and she knows your weakness, man. You can't let them know your weaknesses out here.
But realistically, though, we do need to start having some spaces for men to be heard. Because a lot of times that's how that shit be escalating to violence, man. You know what I'm saying? A man's feelings is suppressed, his voice is suppressed. And I mean, that's just like how we started off the podcast. Like, you got women who don't want to hear this simply because we men. You know what I'm saying? So if you got, as a man, your voice is suppressed, you emotional, and people tell you it's your fault. Oh, you probably did this and this and that anyway. You know what I'm saying? You wounded. And people telling you what you probably did to put yourself in that predicament. Oh, that woman wouldn't have went and did this if you would have been doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no room for you to be hurt. Then eventually, some guys just snap, man. And I'm not condoning it, but I mean, I be seeing what lead up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, all this valid point.
There's no such thing as women helping women. It ain't no such thing as men helping men. You get into it with your woman, she could call women helping women on you. Ain't no men helping men.
I mean, I'm sitting back thinking, even when you just said about the there's no space for a man to really to vent. If you go to Facebook, he gonna look at it as a sucker. And even if he calls some of his homeboys, the best advice his homeboy gonna say is, man, fuck that bitch.
Fuck her. You tripping. And he might like, oh man, I got some other little chicks we could go slide with now. You fool. Want to ride to Chicago?
He ain't giving you that room. Yeah, he ain't giving you that room to navigate through it.
Yeah. Hey, motherfucker really needs that room to, I don't want to say grieve, but you really need that space to get your heartache out. Sometimes you need a listening ear, and
look, here go a perfect example. The Will Smith and Jada Pinkett thing, right? And August Alsina. From his vantage point, he was misled into believing they was in a relationship, right? Now, the conversation at the time was, she ain't lead him into thinking they was in a relationship. For one, you weren't there. How could you say that? You don't know what that woman led that man to believe. You feel me? But it's just so easy to say he wasn't misled. But you only saying that because he a man. She didn't mislead him. That's your only reason for saying that is because of your man. Now, he whining and doing 50 interviews. Obviously, he feel a way about something, or maybe he doing it for publicity. But at the same time, that publicity backfired, because guess what the world was saying? Shut up, Negro. You sound like a bitch. You sound weak, right? But I tell you the one thing that I respected out of that situation, Jada Pinkett said, I just wanted to feel. She didn't blame Will. So if Will forgive her, you understand why he forgive her. You understand why he could still be with her. She took accountability, the very thing that we talking about. She said it was about her. I wanted to feel good again. It was about her. It wasn't about him. She didn't attack Will and go to the media talking about Will, what Will wasn't doing or nothing. She took accountability. It's easier to get past it if she take accountability for her actions. But if she blame you, you know, it's gonna go left.
It's true.
Yeah. Sound good in theory.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I'm listen. I'm gonna double back down on this. I can honestly say I done seen too much to even had a mentality to where I want to police another adult's genitals. Whatever another adult is not doing in relation to me, I commend them. You feel me? That's great. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I have no desire to police another adult's genitals. I've never seen it work for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Men or women. I done seen women try to be all over their man and he still managed to get away. You know what I'm saying? I done been a man on the other end of it where, and I probably been on the receiving end too. I just might don't know about it, but I done been the man that they was fighting to get to behind the dude back. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how much he tried to police their life or box them in, they still figured out a way to make it to me. You know, and like I said, some of these people still, they still rocking. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's physical, man. And it's just this thing, like it's a human flaw. Sometimes we try to make it like it's a man thing, but it's just a human flaw. People are going to do things. No one is perfect. Point blank period. No one is perfect, male or female. We can strive to be perfect, but no one is perfect. And now so me, a person like me, I'm a realist. I pride myself on being that. So understanding that no one is perfect, I don't have some idea of perfection that I'm trying to hold someone to. Now, if they manage to be perfect, that's great. You know what I'm saying? But it's no way for me to realize or come to realize that they're imperfect because I never put them on that pedestal that you talked about earlier, Rich. They didn't come in the door at the top and I'm watching them fall. I'm watching them grow. You know what I'm saying? When I'm with somebody and I love them, I'm watching them grow. You know what I mean?
That's the truth. That is much easier from that angle. Like you said, you let them grow on their natural path. Like the best thing you can do for somebody is influence them. You know what I'm saying? Like your actions and your ways influence them to do better. Like just telling somebody to do something or tell them not to do something or tell them to do this, do that. Man, that ain't no relationship. What you got last week? A relationship? Like that.
Relationship.
Yeah, relationship. That's just bogus. Like, you know what I'm saying? You take people back for how they are and how they growing, and that's good enough for you roll with it. But like of course you can always help people, hey, you may want to try this, you may want to try that. But like, if they rock with it, they do. If they don't, they don't. You just gotta take that. This is definitely, you know what I'm saying, you don't have ownership to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get that out of their minds. Like, you you choose to be in a relationship with somebody that's cool, and you gotta do the marriage thing, you gotta get the vows and shit. Still don't mean you own them. Can't tell them when come in the house. Can't tell them what to wear. You know, you can't tell them, you know, like you said, what to do with their body. Can't tell them, you know, what to do with their money. Like it just is what it is. Mm-hmm. You think about life, and you get the freedom to live your life, and you get shit. That'll drive somebody crazy trying to live by the rules of somebody else's life. You know, that'll kill you. Like, you ain't living your life when you live by somebody else's life.
And that go back into what we was talking about earlier, and it's a little bit off topic, but it kind of fits. Where, for one, we got people talking about that they're in love who can't define love. You ask the average person, what does love mean? They can't even define it. And the first thing that they say is they reference someone else. What's love to you? When somebody is with somebody else and they don't cheat. What the fuck? That ain't got nothing to do with love. You feel me?
So like, let's say something, they'll reference somebody's relationship, what Jay-Z and Beyonce got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's never something internal. Like, it's not even deep. It's always about what somebody else isn't doing, right? Mm-hmm. And so then, you know, as men, and I know both of y'all done had to deal with this, where you meet a woman and her idea of you loving her is how well you follow her rules. So it's always turns to, if you loved me, you would be in the house before 6 o'clock like a real man. What man want to be out in the streets? Real men gonna be in the house with their family. If you love me, ain't no way that you would have been out till 9, 10 o'clock at night. If you love me, you wouldn't do this and this and this and this and that. So now we're not even talking about feelings. We're talking about basically rules and punishments. You know what I'm saying?
But do men say that too, though?
What?
I'm saying, do a man say that too, like to his woman, like, well, if you love me, you wouldn't do this?
I ain't never met a man that said nothing like that. It ain't never came up in no conversation.
I have, but there's an actual term. You look at Webster's dictionary. I think it's called they call it suckers. So but like,
Too short like would not approve of what you doing, player. Too short would not approve of that.
I was sitting there thinking, and I don't recall me hearing I don't recall me saying that. I don't know what another man saying to his woman, you know. But I don't never remember me ever saying that to a woman. Like, well, if you love me, you wouldn't. I can't even say it now. It just don't sound right.
You know somebody. You know a man has said that before. Like it's man. It's like everything. Like it's not generally exclusive. Like you know, I'm joking about it, but you get dudes who just be on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Same way you get dudes like
exist.
Yeah, you get bums.
If you love me, you will leave him alone. You got somebody else out there.
or maybe we don't know the whole context of it. Maybe they woman is, I don't know, not cooking. I'm just throwing something out there. And it still don't sound right.
It don't, because it don't exist. But guess what? Like you said last time, if you loved me, you would have took that garbage out when I asked you. So since you didn't take it out, clearly you don't give a fuck about me or my feelings.
Yeah.
You could already hear the conversation.
Yeah. I can vividly hear that.
Shit.
And again, that's that. Men love harder than women. And your answer, and to answer what you just said, men don't say stuff like that, because as men know what love is. Because like you said, Rich, even if I don't come home at night, even if I don't follow your rules, I know how I feel about you. And just like you said, Corey, I will take a bullet for you, woman. We just ain't been in a situation for you to see it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But if a gunman ran down on us, you will see that I love you enough that I will leave this earth for you. In a heartbeat. Because guess what? Because I love you. And I don't need you to follow no rule for me to love you. I just simply love you. Point blank, period. I love you while you trying to figure it out. I love you while you trying to work through your daddy issues, your mama issues. I love you when you gain weight. I love you if you get yourself in shape. I just love you.
Okay, I got a question for you though. Because women gonna say, a man don't love harder than a woman. Because a man take a woman through this and take a woman through that. But if a woman cheat on a man, he'll leave.
But we just already said that when a woman cheat on it, we done been around too many men that got cheated on, caught they woman red-handed and they ain't leave. So that's a myth, which is the very reason that we doing this podcast, is to expel the myths. People think things that really not true. That's a myth. You can't name a man who caught his woman messing around and he left her. Name one. They done came to the shop crying about it. Yeah, man, you know I caught old girl down bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't left her. They asking you, what should they do? What should I do about it, bro? If they left her, they wouldn't be asking you what they do. What should they do about it? They just gone.
Oh, okay.
Ask you to help them move.
Okay.
Let me get my stuff out of there, bro.
But they still gonna say a woman put up with more shit than a man do.
Let me tell you why they think that. Because the man ain't complaining about the shit they putting him through. He ain't even mentioning it.
Valid point.
We discussed that last time. Men ain't sitting there harping every day about what a woman doing wrong. But that same woman be on top of, he came home 5 minutes late. Then he normally come home. She told me he being inconsistent. She go out with her homegirls. You watch the game and go to sleep. You don't know if she came in at midnight or 6 a.m.
I got this homeboy, right? He married. This was years. Y'all keep saying years ago. So he had messed around. Him and his girl, they got back together. And I remember, they got back together. And one day she called me like, Corey, you talk to such and such? I'm like, nah, I ain't talked to him. What's up? Like, yeah, they both been, home by now. They ain't came home yet. I'm wondering, where he at? I'm like, what you mean? Where is he supposed to be coming from? She's like, coming from work. He's supposed to be here, he know I'd be here by a certain time and he ain't here yet. So I said, well, Dad, what time does he normally get there? And she say 5:30. And I looked at my clock, my watch, right? Because I'm like, 5:30. And I'm in my head, I'm like, I thought it was around 5, but time could have passed. I looked at my watch, no bullshit. Y'all think I'm bullshitting. It was 5:38. I said, hold up. I said, hold on. I said, it's 5:38. And she was like, yeah, but he's normally here every day on time. I said, check this out, man.
You taking bullshit too far.
To the max. 8 minutes late. I said, you couldn't do nothing in 8 minutes, girl. Relax. Is it possible for him to do anything in 8 minutes?
Bro.
Call me back in an hour and a half. He ain't come home in an hour and a half.
And guess
then
what?
I'm going to call him.
and realistically, and this is why I'm saying you can't police nobody's actions. She worried about 8 minutes after work, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could have got that shot of neck bone at lunch.
That was it.
You feel me?
Gotta say.
He could have knocked that action down at lunch. You worried about, so you can't police nobody's life. You can't police nobody's actions, man. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Man, you won't know it and it really won't bother you. Shit. Like crazy motherfucker, man.
So in closing, I'ma double back down. And if y'all got something to add to this, feel free. Ladies, if a man catches you cheating and you are accountable for your actions without blaming him, he's more than likely not going to leave you. The thing that makes it hard to stay with you is when you come back from doing your dirt and you're blaming him for being the reason that you went and did your dirt. Because you put yourself on a pedestal. You made yourself the moral authority. So you let him down because you put yourself on that pedestal. But it's not about sex. It's not. I mean, you might think that, but it's not.
All right, I hear you. But I remember my father, man, right? My father, one time, he used to cut up like a mug in the house. I can't say that. I ain't gonna say that story. Nope, I ain't gonna say that one. Go ahead, Rich. You say something.
Okay, shit. I mean, I've been on both sides of it, so like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you just learn from this shit. You know, like I said, I ain't the end of the world. And I agree perfectly with what Ski says. Like, I'm looking back on this shit. Like, from the first time, you know, the woman messed around, like I was a kid, you know. I think I was in middle school, you know, girl messed with a little bit older dude, you know, I guess I stopped jigging with her, like, you know, it was like one of those things. We was in middle school, so it wasn't no real relationship. But like, I'm sitting there thinking about it, like, it's the truth. Like, especially if somebody got accountability, it just ain't gonna end it for a man, you know. It'll go 1,000 different ways before it even gets to the option of it ending. So, you'll be fucked up about it. You know what I'm saying? Things will change, but you know, it just ain't going to stop off top. So
if she's come with the accountability and she's coming with the motivated or with the process of trying to work through it and put in the work to bring it back full circle, the man not going nowhere.
I mean, I think it changes things. Like with me, like I said, like I've seen it a whole lot with other guys, and they work through it. Like I'm a little bit different. I remember I had this girl when I moved back to Louisville from Vegas. It was, you know, a lady I worked with. You know, we started messing around, whatever. And you know, I didn't know that she had to do. She'd been dealing with long term. You know, so I remember he ran in there with me. You know, he ran in her house with a gun, put a gun on me and everything. So, like, you know, so it was kind of like a back and forth thing. So it was like one of those things, like, you know, I didn't ever really know what was going on. And I still fucked with her. You know what I'm saying? And she was like really forcing a relationship thing, wanted me to move in with her and all this and that. But it was like one of those things that I always have. I guess I wasn't moving fast enough for her. And so she had actually gone behind my back and sparked this shit. Like she had cut them off, but whatever had happened, they got back to talking and talking and talking. I'll tell you how it went down. She said she was moving out of her apartment to move back in with her mother, but dude actually bought her a house. And he had did some fried shit to do it because he had burnt up his truck. You know, got the insurance money, put it down on the house and bought her a house. Dude ended up getting caught. You know, they found out that he burned up his truck himself. That was an arson case. He's locked up. She's over the house and she's telling me, you know, why don't you come over here, you know, and spend the night. I go over at one time, not even knowing it was the house that she had bought him. spend the night or whatever. Then it comes out, she's like, hey, this is a story, dude got locked up, for the shit he did. But now I got this house, it's in his name, but I'll see if we can rent it from him. We just live here. I'm thinking in my head, like, these motherfuckers is ridiculous. Like, they will do some shit. You might not cut them off, man, but you gotta recognize, people for who they are once they start getting on that bullshit. Like,
same exact shit happened to me. I was dealing with a woman. We cool. She trying to put the press on me about a relationship and all this different stuff, right? Being all on top of my area action. One day the phone was ringing and it just kept ringing and kept ringing. She said, I gotta take this. She take the call. It's her dude from in jail. Right? So I'm like, whoa, like, damn, you been on my back and you got a dude in jail? So she give me this sob story about how he left her all of his stuff and he didn't have nobody that was gonna do this and this and that for him or whatever. So, blah, 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 right? So I'm like, so he gonna expect you to be his woman when he come home, right? She didn't want to talk about that, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I threw my nuts back on the crap table. You know what I'm saying? I got back out there. So she ended up finding out I was talking to somebody, bro, and literally like tried to knock my head off. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like again, I was okay with her having a dude coming home from jail. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't really gonna even change how I rocked with her. It just when it came time to cut it off, we just gonna cut it off. But she took it left. You know what I'm saying? Based on her own BS.
Yeah, that same thing. Been through it. It's like, as a man, you kind of got to take it with it is what it is. But like, once they start putting them rules and boundaries on you, man, that just changes things.
Yeah, that's the part that make it hard. It ain't just all that other stuff that be just surrounding the situation, man, that make it hard.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know Corey's hiding the story, man. You don't want to put it out there, man. We'll let him off the hook this time. But
take us on home, Corey. Give us one and drop the mic. We're gonna close it out on that.
Right. I don't know if it's a drop the mic. So I'm gonna change some of the people. That's what I'm gonna do. So all right. So my father, he telling me about one of his friends. And his friend, him and his wife got into it. And the wife was gone for, let's say, 4 days. And so she finally, and the husband, he, ride past, let's say, the mama house, the sister house, whatever the case, her typical homie's house. And she ain't over nobody's house. He ain't calling, she ain't answering the phone, this and that. And so she pop up 4 days later, come in the house, because he was calling my father trying to figure out what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So boom, so he find out she come in the house 4 days later, and my father, talked to him. He said, man, I don't know what happened, man. She ain't said nothing, I ain't said nothing. We was gonna keep it at that. So my father, he telling me the story. My father tell me to my face. He said, let your mama not come home for 4 days. He talking about my mama. Nigga said, he said, let your mama not come home for 4 days. He said, my ass would be sitting on this porch with a shotgun. So y'all wonder where I get that from.
I was just about to say that too. It's one born every minute.
He said it's generational.
Oh man, good shit, man.
Yeah.
See y'all on the next one.
All right, man. Might be 2 this week.
All right,
Peace.
y'all.
Oh, hold on,
All
before we go. To all the listeners, if you have a topic you would like us to discuss, just throw it in the comments. Just throw it in the comments and we'll go over it and see if, we might can shed some light on it or something.
I was actually going to say it, man. I want to reach out because at this point, I'm pretty sure it's stemmed off some conversation. So it would definitely be interactive with people and see what they want to talk about and what they want to hear the truth about.
Yeah.
Just don't hit my line. Hit Skeeter cord, man. Don't hit my line with that bullshit.
All right, y'all.
All right.